What is going on, guys? Predator458 here, and welcome back to my channel. And what you guys are seeing on the screen here is a test. This is not a ship. This is certainly not a battleship. What this is a test. It is a hurdle. It is an obstacle to overcome. And all in all, it is there to test your worthiness for the mighty Japanese battleship, the Yamato. Now, if you watched my Montana video yesterday, I was a little bit critical of that ship, to say things lightly, and I genuinely seem to think, from at least what I've experienced being on the receiving end of the Yamato's guns, that it is a superior battleship compared to the Montana. Its armor seems better, its guns seem to penetrate the Montana's armor a lot easier than the American guns can penetrate the Japanese armor. But in order to get there, as I said, you have one last hurdle, one last test to overcome, and that is the Tier 9 Izumo. Now, this battleship, again, in case you are, well, if you are unaware, is a paper ship. It never existed. This was one of the many designs and that preceded the mighty Yamato, and it is, yeah, as I said, it's the final ship you need to unlock and research before you get to experience the Tier 10 Japanese battleship. Now, generally, this is not looked upon very favorably, and I can understand why. I haven't played too many matches in it, I haven't won too many matches in it, but I can already kind of have a feel for this ship. The armor is listed in the stat sheets as between something and 356 millimeters, so on the stat sheet it's comparable to the Iowa, but I don't know where that 356 millimeters of armor is, because it's certainly not around your citadel area. This thing is very easy to citadel if you simply aim, try and get your shells to land around the turrets area, which are all in the front, obviously. You should be able to pin it and get a citadel hit. These things can still be difficult to deal with, because of having all guns in the front. They never really have any reason to go full broadside, and most Izumo drivers tend to head straight towards the enemy. We didn't unfortunately get any hits on the New Orleans, but he is fairly far away and maneuvering, so that's not to be unexpected. We got an Iowa off into the distance, but when an Izumo is coming head on at you and they're keeping the armor angled, they can be quite difficult to deal with. But if they ever show their broadside and you can get good hits, we managed to get a citadel on the New Orleans, which is very nice. But yeah, other problems with this ship compared specifically to Iowa. This is slower than Iowa. Currently it can do 27 knots or so. I don't have the final engine upgrade fitted, and I don't think I'm going to fit it, because basically all it does is it doesn't even increase your max speed by a knot. It increases it by 0.9 knots, so not worth the research, not worth the money. But as I said, yeah, you're slower than Iowa, your anti-aircraft guns are worse than Iowa, your maximum range is worse than Iowa, and contrary, excuse me, to what the stat sheet says, I think the accuracy is worse than Iowa. According to the stat sheet, this thing has a maximum dispersion of, I think it's 233 meters at its maximum range, and we get a single hit, and that's not bad at all. But I have had cruisers broadside onto me at 10 kilometers and been unable to score a citadel hit. I've had like couple of shells land, but in front of them a couple of go over, and a few hit for minor damage. So the guns do not seem particularly accurate to me, even though the stat sheet says otherwise. However, it's not a terrible ship to play. I think this is a lot like the Colorado, which, you know, is not a good ship by any means, but is not all that bad when you get used to working with it. And hopefully this match will go well. I mean, we've already got one citadel hit, which is not bad. Hopefully a few more are in store, but we're going to try and remove this New Orleans from the From the map, we got a North Carolina who's heading towards us. We got our friendly Iowa on our port side. But basically, I mean, I saved up a lot of free experience and converted some. And basically, I skipped Omagi, got this, got the upgrades except for the engine, as I said, and we get 1 hit for no damage. And then sort of bought all the stuff. And I've still got even more free experience sitting and waiting. Yeah, basically I am about 50,000 experience away from Yamato. 50,000 experience and a lot of money. But hopefully I'll be able to bring that soon, because I genuinely feel like, and we get a couple of hits there. I didn't see how much damage, I just know one of them was an over-penetration. So we're going to fire our rear wood turret at this New Orleans. It's the only one that was ready. And those, when we get 1 hit for 3,400 damage, not bad. Let's fire there. But basically, I really think I should have gone for Yamato first. That was always my plan, and 3 hits for 4,700. I always wanted to do that because I did play Montana in closed beta, but I've never played Yamato ever. But once I got Iowa, I just couldn't stop playing it and landed up completing that grind without really even trying. So this North Carolina is now at 12. He's broadside onto us. Let's fire there, and people are focusing us down. Hooray for us. And how do those do? And we get a Citadel in 1 hit for just over 14,000 damage. These shells also don't seem to pack as much punch, as much raw damage as Iowa. I think Iowa's max damage is 13,100, and Izumo is a bit less than that. I mean, it's not a whole lot less. It's not like 11,000 like Turpitz, but it's certainly less than 13,000. And we kind of need to start pushing in here. Our Iowa is taking a very long way around. You can see him in I3 right now, and I kind of wish he was spearheading this push, because, as I said, Izumo's armor is not the greatest, and therefore this is probably not the best ship to spearhead an assault like this. But we're going to turn and get our guns onto the Otago. We are exposing our broadside to the battleships on the other side of the map, but they are quite far away, so hopefully they're not paying attention to us. And we get 1 hit for 1,200, so an over penetration. And that's what you can see. I mean, that the Otago is not at max range. It's at 15 kilometers, less than 15 kilometers, and the spread on these shells is just still not anything that's particularly good. But I mean, this could just be a case of RNG not working with me. As you guys saw on the Turpitz, I think the last Turpitz video I played, that had, what, 8 or 9 citadels, so maybe I used up all my goodwill with RNGesus in that game. And he's traveling away, so we'll give him a little bit more elevation. And here comes some shots from the Mogami, and he looks like he's firing high explosive. And we get 2 hits, 6,000 damage, and we take out his steering. But he will no doubt repair that up right away. Probably going to let this fire burn itself out. Just don't want to be set on fire again. And here come more shells from the Otago. I will say one thing though, this ship does not seem to burn as much as some other Japanese battleships in the past. And we take some big damage there from someone on the other side of the map. And we get 2 Citadel hits, do 19,700 damage, and finish off the Otago. So I was quite lucky. I wasn't actually watching those shells. I wonder if it was that Nagato that was shooting at me. But the enemy's about to go into the cap zone, and this Iowa sailing in a nice straight line for us, so we'll take the lead and fire everything as we head towards the cap zone. We're just going to have to try and keep a bit of an eye out for incoming shells. And the grouping on this looks good, and the lead looks good, and we get 1 Citadel and 4 hits for 22,000 damage. Thank you very much, Iowa. So the guns are capable, as you can see, but they feel quite inconsistent to me. I think Iowa's guns just, even if the dispersion, the max dispersion is worse, they don't tend to disperse as much as Izumo's guns. And, I mean, there we go, only one hit, they all kind of spliced, which is unfortunate, but you can't Citadel things every time. And they are unfortunately capturing our point, and with this patch 0.5.0.1, once you capture a point in this single point domination, whatever the hell they call it, it gives the enemy team 1,000 points and they basically auto win. So this is basically now a standard battle just with a few point things. And one hit in one Citadel for 1,500 damage. So yeah, this is just standard battle, but obviously you lose points when you lose ships and that sort of thing, just like normal domination. So I'm not quite sure I like this version. But anyways, Otago at 16, that Iowa is hidden from our view by the smoke screen. We're probably going to have to turn around and head towards our cap. And there he is. Let's take the lead and fire there. And I don't really know what this guy's doing, because I've Citadeled him twice already, and he's just kept sailing in a straight line. And those are looking good again. Another Citadel in 3 hits for 18,500 damage. But one thing I've noticed is, when we hit them, when we do damage to them, it doesn't reset the cap, which is interesting, and I wonder if that was an oversight on Wargaming's part, because every other in a normal domination mode, and there he still is, still in a straight line, still with his broadside showing to us, so we'll fire everything. But in normal domination, when you damage someone who is in the cap, it does reset it. And another Citadel in 2 hits, and we kill him and we get high caliber. But as you can see, I mean, it didn't reset the cap, which is a little bit unfortunate that it does it this way, because it means the only way to stop the cap is to kill everything inside. So we're going to heal up. We've still got 35,000 health. We'll have 47,000 after this heal up is complete. And now we're on fire. We're going to put that out right away. I'm going to take some long range staggered shots at the Otago, and hopefully we can get lucky. And we got some incoming fire from the New Orleans and the Nagato, and we get 3 hits for 2,500 damage. And now he's turned full broadside to us. We're going to fire that off, but they've almost, there we go, captured the zone, and we lose the match, which is unfortunate. And it basically has just turned this game mode into a mad dash to the enemy's cap, and whoever gets there first is likely to win. So I hope they change that. But this is actually not a bad match in the Izumo. I think this is the best match I've had so far. And as you can see, we got 32 target hits, 1 incapacitation, destroyed 2, got 8 Citadel hits, which is nice, for 384,000 silver, 3,500 research, and high caliber. We came first place on the team by a lot, and we actually came first place overall, beating the Iowa on the enemy team by just over 100 points. We did 157,000, call it 158,000 armor piercing damage, and still made 255,000 credits profit. So not bad. And I mean, the ship isn't all that bad, but it's certainly let down by the fact that it has to be compared to Iowa. But anyways, hopefully I will be able to bring you Yamato soon. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to hit the thumbs up button down below and consider subscribing for more World of Warships content, as well as War Thunder and a few other things that I've thrown to the mix from time to time. Also be sure to check the description down below for links to my Facebook and my Twitter, as well as an email address to send those really awesome replays if you'd like to be featured on my channel. But as I said, that is it from me. Thank you very, very much for stopping by. This is Predator458 signing off, and I will see you guys next time.